Hello and welcome to the Her Retirement Podcast. I am your host, Lynn Toomey. And here in my podcast each week, I talk about how to live a better, more intentional, and financially secure life now and in retirement. Whether you're single, suddenly single, or a partnered up woman, your only sure investment is an investment in yourself. And financial wellness, also known as financial security, isn't just a dream, it's a decision. And when you decide to make a commitment to yourself and change your financial destiny, our fresh, modern platform will help you know more and have more now and in retirement. Welcome to Her Retirement. Welcome to my Know More, Have More financial wellness platform, and welcome to my podcast. Are you ready to get her done? Let's do this. Hello there and welcome to this week's episode of the Her Retirement Podcast. This week I am talking about annuities. Annuities 101. So if you are very unfamiliar, not knowledgeable about the concept of an annuity, take a listen, take 20 minutes, 30 minutes of your day. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be talking here about it, but take some time, understand it because it is a very important strategy that many retirees can benefit from in retirement. So it's very important that you at least understand the basics, and that's what I'm going to cover today. So nearly half of all Americans between the ages of 57 and 63 are at risk of not having enough saved to pay for retirement. And this concern can be addressed with annuities, potentially. For some people, annuities are not for everyone. And if you meet with an insurance person and they don't really look at your entire situation and just right off the top say, hey, I've got an annuity to sell you, don't walk, run away from that insurance salesperson because you don't know, right? There's a lot of things to take into consideration before someone recommends an annuity for you or to you. So what are annuities? With a constantly evolving economy and many changes in life, it's really kind of difficult to predict what's in store for the future. That's why it's really important that you are financially prepared to face retirement income challenges and demands with confidence by planning for the unexpected. With life expectancy on the rise, the need to save and plan for your retirement income is becoming critical. And don't assume you're going to work forever. A lot of people do. I've talked about that in a previous podcast. Many people think they're going to continue to work in retirement when in fact they don't. And taking action now to create a sound retirement income strategy is critical. It's one of the things we talk a lot about at Her Retirement, making sure you understand how you're going to generate that income in retirement. And don't let the unknown keep you from taking control of your retirement. Some people don't want to face the unknown or say, you know what, I don't know how long I'm going to live. I don't know where my income's going to come from. I just don't even want to deal with it. And they put their heads down and they bury their heads in the sand. That is not a good strategy. You need to face it head on. You need to address it and you need to understand any retirement income gaps and how you're going to fill those gaps. And an annuity might be a way to do that. And just as a side note, annuities get a bad rap. There's the good, the bad, the ugly. There's insurance people out there selling annuities. You never want to be sold anything. And when you get educated and you understand these different strategies, you won't get sold. You'll make a buying decision. And the right person recommending an annuity is going to look at your entire picture. And I really, I know people do buy annuities from insurance people, but I like the idea of working with a retirement advisor who can look both at the insurance side of your income strategy and the investment side, because you have investments typically in your 401ks, and those monies can be used as your income strategy in retirement. And maybe you use some of that money to create a guaranteed income stream from an annuity. That's basically what an annuity does. It provides a guaranteed income stream. And you know what? A lot of people don't realize this, but Social Security is a form of an annuity. And typically it's going to represent about 30% of your income. Most people that have access to Social Security benefits or that have paid into Social Security will accommodate about 30% of your income needs. But basically, Social Security is a form of an annuity, and they play a very important role in your retirement income. But again, it's important to understand all your options before making any decisions, particularly around your defined benefit pensions, your healthcare costs, and your Social Security. It all needs to take place and all be analyzed in in concert with one another. It can't be done in silos. The retirement landscape has likely drastically changed since you started planning. If you're the typical 50 to 70-year-old, things have changed. To decide if annuities should be part of your retirement income strategy, you really, really need to make sure you seek out a professional. And again, I like retirement advisors that are hybrid. They're both investment and insurance licensed because they're not going to give you a one-sided view. They're going to try to look at your retirement income strategy in a balanced perspective. And of course, as always, just reach out to me at lynn@herretirement.com and I will connect you with the great folks over at Your Retirement Advisor. Annuities are basically financial tools commonly found in a variety of retirement income planning strategies. And quite simply, an annuity is basically a contract between you and an insurance company. And annuities are usually purchased by either providing a single upfront payment or multiple payments over time. And likewise, when you receive money from an annuity in the form of a payout, it can be either paid in one lump sum or in multiple payments over time. And annuities are often purchased as an income distribution vehicle for retirement, which means they can be one of your top sources of income during your retirement years. And helping to add to their popularity, annuities grow tax deferred over time, meaning you pay no tax on your initial premium and or the growth it has accumulated until you begin receiving payouts. And additionally, some annuities include provisions to pass the remaining value on to your beneficiaries. So if you pass away or when you pass away and you have an annuity, before you start receiving payouts, your beneficiary or beneficiaries would receive a payment specified in your annuity contract. Now, let me say that there are a lot of different annuities, and it can be rather confusing for us lay people that aren't selling these annuities. Really, really important to try to understand and try to find someone to work with that helps you understand. You should not be sold anything you don't understand. And if they say, oh, it's complex, you don't need to understand it, no, walk, run away. You need to find someone who is patient enough to make sure you understand what you are purchasing and what part it plays in your overall strategy. And I'm going to give you some questions to ask people so that you aren't ever sold an annuity. You make a buying decision that it's the right strategy for you. So there are two types of annuities, a fixed and a variable. And I'm going to quickly cover the differences between those. There are, traditional fixed and fixed index annuities as well. Traditional fixed annuities provide the purchaser by contract a minimum interest rate to enable growth over time. And both fixed and fixed indexed annuities are regulated by your state's insurance commissioner and are sold by licensed agents. Okay. And again, an advisor, like an investment advisor, financial advisor, he or she can be both investment and insurance licensed. So you need to make sure you understand those designations. Fixed annuities allow you to turn a lump sum of money, your premium, into a stream of income. Fixed annuities guarantee you two things: a fixed interest rate that is applied to your premium and a minimum payment for a set period of time. And you can purchase a fixed annuity from an insurance company with a lump sum or with some flexible premium annuities like a series of payments. And you'll have multiple options to elect from when choosing the frequency and duration of your income payments. The specific terms of your fixed annuity will be outlined in the contract you choose based on your needs and objectives. But the very important thing to remember is fixed indexed annuities give you a guaranteed minimum interest rate. So once you start collecting your annuity income, the amount of your check is guaranteed regardless of external factors such as stock market fluctuations. And that's why a lot of people like annuities, because it doesn't expose them to the ups and downs of the market. Some people refer to annuities as sleep insurance because it allows you to sleep better at night because you don't have to worry about the stock market fluctuations. And one main benefit of a fixed annuity is the guarantee of your premium. So, the sum of money you put into the annuity. In today's economy, many people don't want to lose any of the money they've worked so hard to save. So, this is very, very important benefit. Another potential benefit is the guarantee of steady income stream. So, if you elect this, unlike investments, when you purchase a fixed indexed annuity, there's no uncertainty about how much you'll be able to receive when you want to start taking income from the annuity. You can even choose to turn your lump sum value into a series of payments for the rest of your life. And fixed annuities are typically recommended to conservative consumers. With that said, some people may find them too conservative. So if you'd rather take a more aggressive approach and go for higher possible returns, you may want to consider other types of annuities, such as a variable annuity. And sometimes people don't want annuities at all. They just want to play the stock market. Again, it comes down to understanding your tolerance for risk. And our providers that we recommend in our network of experts have some very interesting software to help you reach those decision points on your tolerance for risk and your needs over the course of your retirement. Remember, when determining the amount of money you want to place in an annuity, make sure you will not need to withdraw it during the contract period because there are early withdrawal penalties. And because fixed annuities are typically considered conservative products, expected returns can be lower than those with more aggressive retirement products. However, a fixed annuity can be one of the best ways to save for retirement with guarantees on the value of your money and a steady income stream in retirement. So, those are fixed annuities. There are fixed indexed annuities, and I think I use those sometimes interchangeably, but a fixed indexed annuity, also known as an FIA, are a type of fixed annuity. As with all fixed annuities, fixed indexed annuities guarantee a minimum interest rate and provide an income for a set period of time over the rest of your life. However, the fixed indexed annuity varies from a traditional fixed annuity and how interest is calculated and credited to the contract. Fixed indexed annuities offer the potential to earn more than the minimum guaranteed interest rate. Let me explain this. Interest credits in FIAs are linked to an external index. An index measures how well the stock market or a part of the market performs. The interest credited on your annuity will be determined by the calculation method used in the fixed indexed annuity and the performance of the index you choose. So, if the index performs positively or better than your guaranteed minimum interest rate, you'll benefit by receiving more interest on your premium. If the index performs negatively or below your guaranteed minimum interest rate, the insurance company will still pay you the minimum rate based on the terms of your contract. So, fixed indexed annuities are invested based on a stock market index, and therefore they allow a higher potential return over some just basic fixed annuities. Important to understand because FIAs allow you to potentially get a little higher return, and some people want that higher return. And you'll elect which FIA annuity product you want based on certain features and terms offered by the insurance company. Those features and terms can include how long the contract is going to last, which index and calculation method your interest will be determined by, and how long you want to wait before the annuity pays out. After a given period of time, you'll begin to receive your payments. So it's basically, your money's growing and working until you decide to take those payments. An FIA can guarantee you a certain level of retirement income, but it also allows you to benefit from potentially higher growth during the deferral period, i.e., the time period before income payments begin. Like I said, while your FIA has the ability to grow in value with interest that is calculated based on the movement of an external index, stock market index, it does contain less risk than a variable annuity because it maintains its minimum guaranteed contract value. So basically, the market goes down, you're not going down with it. You have a floor. So that allows you to rest easy knowing that you're going to have that minimum. There won't be that downside of the market. The way interest is calculated can vary greatly between insurance carriers and the individual FIA products offered. You need to make sure you understand how these calculations work based on your specific contract terms. Okay, make sure you read all of the print, fine or otherwise. There are also caps or limits, as they're called, on how much interest is credited. So no matter how well the external index may perform, your interest won't reflect the full performance of the index. You'll get a cap or a limit. On the other hand, if the index decreases in value, you do not participate in the loss. Okay. There are other annuities called single premium immediate annuities or SPIAs. Those require initial premium payment in return for a promise you will be paid a certain amount of income for the specified amount of time, which can include the remainder of your life. The payout amount from a SPIA is fixed, and this can help retirees during the distribution phase of their lives because it ensures a constant and predictable stream of income. And then there's something called a QLAC, a Qualified Longevity Annuity Contract. It's a more recent addition to the family of fixed annuities, and they were established in 2014 by the IRS as a type of fixed annuity that defers the income stream to a defined date in the future, allowing the premium to accumulate potential interest prior to distribution. QLACs are typically used with IRA money as it allows the required minimum distribution RMDs to be delayed. Deferred income annuities are another type. They're a relatively new family of fixed annuities, and they've been popular since 2011. The longer you wait to start receiving the payments, the higher they will be. And these DIAs are most successful for those who are not worried about immediate income needs and are within 5 to 10 years of retirement. This allows the annuity's value and payout to potentially grow. It's also worth noting that RMDs must be taken if the DIA is purchased inside of a 401k, a traditional IRA, or other retirement account subject to RMDs. And then there's another type called a multi-year guaranteed annuity, MIGAs. They're a type of fixed annuity offering a guaranteed interest rate for multiple years, and they're commonly used for steady, predictable income growth rather than generating deferred income. And there's a number of benefits for these different types of annuities. And what is important is when you sit down with a retirement advisor, or if you happen to be talking to an insurance person about annuities, make sure that you go through these various types of annuities and understand the differences and how one may be better than the other for your situation. So, is an annuity right for you? Right? We wonder that. Like, who do we listen to? How do we know if it's right for us? Once you retire and begin drawing money from your annuity, this is known as the distribution phase of your life. And you have options. Well, often at an additional cost, you can opt for additional benefits, including receiving money from your contract in a lump sum over a period of time or the remainder of your life. The unique design of these financial vehicles makes this possible. Annuities offer many different benefits and attractive features. However, that doesn't necessarily mean one is right for you. Everyone's retirement income situation is unique. And before deciding to purchase an annuity, you have to examine your retirement income goals, needs, and concerns. And you have to be absolutely certain an annuity is right for your situation before you make a commitment. Think about what your income needs will be in retirement and what your budget might look like and how comfortable you are with the stock market going up and down. Now, there is something called a hybrid income portfolio, which is designed by the folks at your retirement advisor. And that type of portfolio allows you to take advantage of annuities. So a certain percentage, let's say 30% of your portfolio goes into annuities, and maybe another 40% goes into stocks. And then there's another product called a structured product, which might house the other 30% of your portfolio. And I can talk about structured investments in another podcast, but there's no like 100%, whilst people certainly can put all of their money into an annuity, it might not be in your best interest. It might be having this hybrid income portfolio. And there's lots of different benefits, which you could talk to the people at your retirement advisor about why you kind of want to spread your portfolio amongst these different types of allocations. And like I said earlier, you really need to make sure you consider your risk tolerance, what it is, how sensitive you are to market fluctuations. Can you handle changes in your income year to year? Or would you prefer a steady and more predictable income stream, even if your overall return may be lower? But having that peace of mind may be more important to you than that potential growth in the market. These are really important points to consider before committing to any financial product. I came up with this term of a personal pension plan. So I think that annuities make a very attractive personal pension plan that does allow you to rest better. In fact, there's an organization, it's the Annuities Council of America or some sort of thing. I forget the name of it, but they basically have some data that shows that people who have annuities are actually happier. Now, next, there's some other things you may want to consider before purchasing an annuity. So you need to consider your long-term care. And if you're retired or planning to retire in the near future, long-term care is an issue you should not ignore. People are living longer and while there are many positive outcomes to that, there are also some real challenges. Many seniors are living longer, but they're also fighting long-term or chronic conditions. And in the past, these things may have led to early death, but with advances in medical care, many seniors are able to live longer with these types of conditions, but they require ongoing treatment and care. And so this, may require you to look at your income in retirement and your income sources. Many annuities offer optional riders or waivers that can be purchased with the contract to help with long-term care treatment. For example, certain annuities guarantee an increased withdrawal or increased liquidity if qualifying events such as confinement to a care facility occur. These long-term care provisions can help you avoid surrender charges should you need access to your money. Also, you may find annuitizing your money and getting lifetime payments from it can affect the amount of Medicaid and Medicare that you can use for long-term care. So before purchasing an annuity, consider how the annuity may figure into your long-term care plans. You also have to think about health care, death benefit, and finally, almost certainly you'll want to consider how an annuity fits into your retirement income projections. Income distribution is an important and maybe perhaps the most important retirement issue. You've spent your entire career saving and preparing for retirement. And while I believe wealth accumulation is important, wealth distribution might even be more important. And you want to withdraw your money in such a way that it will last for your entire life, even if you live a long life, or hopefully when you do live a long life. Annuity companies have recognized the challenge that many retirees face when it comes to income distribution. That's why so many of them offer withdrawal riders known as, quote, income riders that can be purchased with the contract. And these income riders will often guarantee a minimum withdrawal amount for a certain period of time, sometimes for life. Even if your interest rate fluctuates, the withdrawal amount won't change. And these income riders can give you a base of predictable income that may make retirement planning much easier. You can count on your income being there every month without worrying about market fluctuations or investment returns. So that's why I like to call it a personal pension, because that's what you're doing. You're setting yourself up with a personal pension and protection plan, which is all the insurance part of that personal pension and protection plan program. But we can talk about that in another podcast. But today, I really want you to understand that annuities allow you to set up that personal pension plan. Although these income rider benefits can be very, very helpful, they aren't for everyone. It's important to consider all your income sources in retirement and understand how an annuity with an income rider can fit into your overall plan. So you need to make sure that you talk to that professional about an income rider. They are more expensive and you may not need one. So there are options. So let's talk about annuities in the current economy before wrapping up this week's podcast. Along with your own personal goals and concerns, you really need to consider current economic conditions before selecting an annuity. Factors like inflation, like we're dealing with that now, and market fluctuation, which we certainly are dealing with that now, and the price of gas and the price of healthcare and all these things. This can all impact your retirement income strategy, no matter how prepared you are. And sometimes it's a timing issue. So, if you're getting ready to retire and you're concerned about it, you're concerned about market fluctuations, you're concerned about inflation, well, an annuity might be something you need to consider. Some annuities may offer protection from these type of economic risks. However, it's important you understand the risks so you can, again, make an informed decision. Inflation is simply the ongoing increase in prices. As we all know, it can be a sneaky little threat because it's not usually obvious in day-to-day life, although right now it's making headlines, so we are all aware of it. Milk prices, for example, have increased steadily over the years, and sometimes you don't really notice because it goes up a few cents at a time, but right now we are noticing. Um, Inflation can be especially dangerous when you're living on a fixed income. Over the past century, the United States has averaged just more than 3% annual inflation. In more recent years, there was little to no inflation. However, there have been times historically when inflation has been as high as 14%. Let's consider what 3% inflation can do. Let's consider what 3% inflation can do to a fixed income. So let's assume you live off a $50,000 pension. Every year you get that. Each year prices go up by 3%. So the purchasing power of your pension is decreased. In 24 years, inflation would have cut your pension's purchasing power in half. Your $50,000 in income would only be able to buy $25,000 worth of goods and services. And since you may be considering an annuity for retirement income purposes, it's important you consider how the annuity would hold up against inflation. If it's a deferred annuity, think about whether the interest rate is likely to beat inflation over time. If you're looking at an immediate annuity, you may want to consider purchasing one that's adjusted for inflation so the payments go up each year. Inflation is not to be ignored. Again, inflation is not to be ignored when considering your retirement income strategy and looking at annuities. An annuity can be an effective way to combat it, but it's important that you're aware of all the potential options and riders available. Keeping inflation in mind as a primary concern is very important when considering your options. Now, let's talk about market volatility. Market volatility is always a concern, but it's especially important for retirees and others who are living off of their investment income in that distribution or wealth withdrawal phase. One large downturn in the market could be enough to put a serious dent in your retirement income plans. And, nobody wants to live through that. If you're taking withdrawals out of your investment, that could make it even harder for you to recoup your losses. This is one area where an annuity could be an effective answer. With many annuities, you have the opportunity for potential growth without exposure to direct market risk and volatility. For example, in a traditional fixed annuity, you usually receive a fixed interest rate set by the insurance company. That interest rate isn't affected by market volatility. In fixed indexed annuities, your interest credits may be tied to the performance of an external index, but it is not subject to losses due to the downside performance of that index. Of course, any evaluation of a potential investment or a financial product should start with an analysis of your own risk tolerance, as I stated earlier. How sensitive are you to downward movements of the stock market? How much of a movement would it take for you to become too nervous to keep your money invested? You need to ask yourself these questions. Okay. Knowing the answers are going to help you make informed decisions, and an annuity could help you protect yourself from market volatility, but it's important to know all the options first. So I'm going to hit on some frequently asked questions, and then we will wrap up this episode of the Her Retirement Podcast. And again, I am at lynnt@herretirement.com. I'm here to answer any questions. I have a masterclass where we go into a lot of depth on annuities, and we can certainly connect you with someone in our network of experts to help you figure out, especially in this time of inflation and market volatility, what you can do now to protect your portfolio and prepare yourself for that distribution phase of life. So, question number one, are annuities guaranteed? Annuities are backed up by the full faith and credit of the particular life insurance company issuing the annuity. They are not guaranteed by the FDIC like CDs and bank accounts. Many life insurance companies that offer annuities are very highly rated, and that's another important point. You need to look at the ratings and make sure you're working with the top rated insurance providers. And, that's where an advisor can help you. Before you purchase an annuity, be sure to look at the company's financial strength. Next question, what is annuitization and when do I have to annuitize my annuity contract? Annuitization is the act of turning your deferred annuity value into a stream of payments. How are taxes paid on annuities? Much like IRAs and 401ks, annuities are tax deferred, meaning you don't pay any taxes on the annuity's growth until you begin withdrawing interest. If you withdraw prior to age 59 and a half, you may have to pay a 10% IRS penalty. Also, if you withdraw money during your surrender period, you may incur surrender charges. So there's a period where you're not allowed to withdraw monies. And again, that's one of the variables you need to look at when you're looking at these annuity contracts. What are surrender charges? If you withdraw or surrender some or all of your contract during the surrender period, you may have to pay surrender charges per the contract. So surrender charges are in place for a specified period of time. These charges are often scaled and reduce over time until there are no charges in place. Many annuity contracts have a free withdrawal amount you can withdraw each year without paying a surrender charge. Again, different contracts, different needs, you need to look at, do I need this money? It's best, obviously, to use monies that you won't be needing to purchase those annuity contracts. Can I put my IRA in an annuity? Yes, you can. In fact, many annuities are purchased with IRA funds. However, you should know you won't get any additional tax benefit from the annuity. You are already getting tax deferral from the IRA, and that same deferral applies to the annuity. And finally, can my interest rate change? That all depends on the terms of your specific annuity contract. In some fixed annuities, the initial interest rate is locked in for the length of the contract. In others, it can change every year or every few years. In fixed indexed annuities, the interest rate can change based on the performance of the external index. So I hope this quick Annuities 101 gave you an overview of some of the annuities and the annuity options out there, clarified a few things for you, may have generated more questions, hopefully not more confusion, but if you still have questions, you're confused, you want to understand where an annuity can best be used in your retirement income strategy, definitely reach out to me at lynnt@herretirement.com. And as I always say, each week, knowing more is truly having more, whether it's power, money, peace of mind. When you know more, you can have more. Here's to getting her done, and we will talk to you next week.